Hey guys, just a little update for what's going on for this week on our remote learning process here. Emailed you guys all the directions, but just a little heads up. So this Tuesday, we're going to be doing writing exercise number 2 from Blackboard, which is basically the same, similar exercise to for exercise 1 that we did last week. But this with a different twist. Well, first of all, they're not going to be group exercises because you're going to be submitting them independently. And just a 3-paragraph story, original piece based on one of the topics given. But the other part of it is that you're going to try to incorporate at least one of these composition principles from this book here. This is Strunk and White's Elements of Style. If you look up, there might be older editions that would just have Strunk Elements of Style or something like that. That also works. I found that on iTunes it's free, or of course you go to libraries might be a little tricky now, but you can on Google Books has it or anything. So you're going to look up that noted chapter. Basically, what it is just a sort of like a classic manual that's been around forever. It's a little book that I try to read every few years to really hone up on my writing chops. E.B. White. Some may be familiar with was the author of Charlotte's Web. It's definitely just one of those classic manuals, and so really will help you hone your writing in a much larger sense. So that's sort of the idea, is to sort of read through them. It's only just a few pages of that particular part, but it's good writing tips. So it's sort of, like I said, become a better writer. So we'll have that handed into here by 10 o'clock on Tuesday. After that, on Thursday, will be when your first draft for your paper is due. So we expecting 8 pages by 10 o'clock on Thursday. There'll be no other assignments or anything except just to hold tight, and I will be replying from all your papers with various tips on what you need to do from here on out. So that's going to be this week's upcoming work. And then after that, we'll probably take the following Tuesday to, utilize the time to go over certain edits that need to be made on papers. What I do suggest doing is a couple of things. Is start looking through the sample papers that you see that's been provided on Blackboard. I think there's around 8 or 9 of them. That all these papers received A's. So if you're sort of in that track where the quality of yours is, you'll sort of know where you stand. Particularly want you to look at one of the best papers is sample paper number 8 by Artizzi, one of my former students, who actually submitted this to a research days program that we have on campus. It's frankly one of the best papers that I've seen yet so far. But one of the things that there's a couple of sort of pitfalls that students run into when they're sort of collecting all their different sources, and they don't really sort of tie in or utilize these sources very well within the papers. And we call that sort of synthesizing sources. So in other words, a student will have an idea from one source, and then the next paragraph, the next source, the next paragraph, the next source. And that's well good and all, but a stronger paper will be able to incorporate multiple sources into a particular paragraph. This will obviously strengthen an argument if you have more than multiple sources supporting a particular subtopic or what have you. For example, if you look at Tizzy's paper, so it's sample paper 8, if you look on the 4th page, just a random paragraph, you'll see citations from multiple sources. So that's something that really will strengthen your argument in your paper, as you're sort of able to synthesize these sources again. That's something that students have trouble with because it's tough, but that's really going to be something that you want to think about moving forward with your paper. The other thing too is certain times people use quotes. This is another mistake that's going to happen a lot, is that they're going to quote something, but they don't reference where it's coming from. So it's been cited and everything, but just from basic English, just put in said Smith or according to Smith, and then the quote, something of that nature. Just a random quote the reader's not going to understand who's being quoted. So sort of keep mind to that. These are just a couple of common mistakes. And just kind of organize your thoughts well. Subtopics are going to be in line. We move forward towards getting a full final copy, I'm going to give you guys also some of the rubrics that we use, so you can get an idea of how this is going to be graded and what's to be expected. All right, you got my email. Let me know if you need anything, and good luck.